All right, everybody ready to start?
Yeah, never done this before, so
All
I'm
right,
ready.
that's fine. I'm gonna do my
Bring it
little.
on, DM.
I'll do my little spiel here, okay? So this is session 0 of the D&D campaign. That means we'll all be learning about what it takes to go through life in a D&D game and how to play through the whole thing smoothly without getting too bogged down with little mechanical stuff. This is the session where we work out all the questions we have for each other and take care of things that might get in the way of the game being fun for everybody. So here's what I have to say that's going to always be true. The NPCs will lie to you, but I won't. Everybody's got their own agenda in life, and people in this world are no exception. Remember that pretty much every situation in D&D gives you some element of control. If you think somebody's lying to you, use your character skills to sniff out the truth. Spot the lie, bribe him, blackmail him, intimidate him, get him drunk, drug him, use magic, kidnap his dog, punch him in the dick, whatever. So you want to build this world's first main battle tank? You can probably roll for that too, but you can be sure I'll ask you exactly how you'll be going about that, and it's going to involve a lot of dice. So you get the
So
what?
should have recorded this.
Well, you get the idea. Treat this like a real place with real people, and we'll have a good time with all the weird shit we can get up to.
DM, are you recording?
I am.
Oh, good. Okay.
I'm recording the screen right now.
Are you recording my voices as well?
Yeah. Luckily for you, or luckily for me, Texas is a single party consent state. I can record you with no legal repercussions whatsoever.
As long as he knows he's doing it. One person in the party has to know they're doing it.
So, it's me. Yeah, I'm the single party.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, does anybody have any questions before we start? Like little weird stuff that you don't know what's going on?
I'll have 100 as we go, so I'll just see what I can figure out as we go.
Okay. I kind of went over
Oh,
this
you're
earlier, but you guys that weren't here whenever we went over it. Now, usually whenever you roll like a critical strike in the game, you just roll double damage and apply that to your enemy. But I'm giving you guys the choice. Either you can take that double roll damage, or you can choose to draw a card from the crit deck, which does some special stuff. I'll put a card on the board right now. Just let the image load. So you get to choose like one of these options, like whatever damage type you've got going on. So I won't show you the card beforehand, but if you do like if you roll a 20 and get a crit, you can either choose to do this or take the damage.
crit fails.
Crit fails I do not have going just yet.
Okay.
I'll probably give you disadvantage on some stuff or something interesting, but I will not be pulling a card that disembowels you with your own dagger or something. Cool?
Cool.
All right. So the way this works, I'm going to set the scene for you guys, and you can talk and role play amongst each other as things happen. A lot of things that we'll be going over that I'll be talking about, you listen for them, and like I won't have everything drawn out for you on the screen or anything. You'll be listening to what is going on in the room or in the area, and if you want to do something with it, like if I describe the area as like having creeping vines running up a wall or something like that, you can choose to grab them or investigate them or do whatever. Like anything I mention, you can do something with. And if I don't mention something, you want to look for it, then you can roll for that too. You just ask me. All right. You'll get the
Okay.
hang of it. All right. Here's our first scene here. You are in a wagon against your will. Not that this is a new occurrence for some of you, although it is your latest and, by your estimates, your longest stretch wagon bound and under duress. Calling the thing a wagon is a bit unfair. It's more of a carriage, really, with fancy trim and real honest to God seats adorned with paper thin, musty cushions that probably, in their heyday half a century ago, cradled some noble buffoon's noble posterior. The windows are nailed shut and reinforced with iron, but that hasn't stopped a bit of daylight from getting in and letting you mark the days on the road. The only time the carriage door ever opens is for a cloaked man to hand you your food and to empty the little bucket that serves as a shared privy for your little band of misfits. Over time, in this wobbling, creaking cage, You've developed some strong opinions on how this place's engineers build and keep roads. It's been days since the wagons passed through its last town, and the roads here are atrocious. In fact, if you had to guess, the wagon probably left the road altogether yesterday and skipped cross country over increasingly rough terrain. Wet, salty air has begun to rush in through the slats, chilling all of you to the point that you've begun to huddle close together, despite having been locked up together for days. The smell is awful. Your breaths are visible now, and there is serious condensation on the iron of the wood and of the iron and the wood of the carriage's roof. There's a muffled call outside that you can't quite make out, and a gruff reply in a voice you recognize as your captor's. The wagon slows to a stop. The door opens, and, for once, the cloaked man does not block your escape. The wind carries the sound of surf and the distant cry of gulls. One by one, you file outside into the gray light of a cloudy day by the sea. As you stand fully upright for the first time in days, you sway and nearly stumble while your abused muscles and vertebrae attempt to stretch and straighten themselves. You are in a camp. Canvas tents sit in neat, orderly lines with regularly spaced cooking fires struggling to stay alight in the damp air. Armed and armored men walk with speed and economy of movement, patrolling around the camp's perimeter and among the tents. Some of those armed men are lined up on either side of your party in, well, you wouldn't call it a formation, but if some grizzled sergeant materialized from wherever they keep those kinds of people and bellowed for the guys to form ranks, the men wouldn't have to take more than half a step. Your captor, having shrugged off his cloak, is revealed to be a blocky man with short salt and pepper hair and a vicious burn from the corner of his mouth to his ear. His peasant garb fits tightly over taut muscles and chainmail, and the sword on his belt looks well worn but meticulously cared for. Two men in leather stand to his right. One holds a thin book. Your grizzled-looking captor holds out a gloved hand as if to shake yours.
Checked his hand.
Let me just transfer you guys over to the camp here. Boop. Okay.
Is there any way for me to minimize all of the pictures, like the big ones,
Big
in the
Yes.
bottom left-hand corner?
The little
Like I've got, for everyone's present, I've got all of our pictures and a colorful dot and all that, and it's over your whole playing board.
Yeah, it's under your
yeah,
settings.
go to the little wheel at the top right of the screen. It says my settings. And at the very bottom it says player avatar size, and you can make it small or go away completely.
Oh, I can just get rid of Osmodeus for now. There we go. He not even here. Okay, so moving your token around outside of battle doesn't really do a whole lot unless you want to describe it or something. But right now you guys are surrounded on all sides by dudes with spears, and this dude right here is holding out his hand as if to shake.
I smack his hand away and ask to speak to the commander in charge.
All right, I want you to make an athletics roll. All right, that's a 7. I'm going to make a roll for home dude here.
Is there any way we could see all this?
So he's a bit stronger than you, so he grabs onto your hand as you try to slap his hand, and he just holds on super tight. All right. And as he's sitting there squeezing your hand, the man to your left approaches you with a needle in his hand.
Ooh, sexy. No, what's going on here? Hi, my name is Lark. Maybe cool it with the needles for a minute? What's going on?
The scarred
Get your
man
bloody hand off.
The scarred man takes his other hand and makes a little finger and holds it over his mouth like shh to Lark. And the man with the needle sticks it into your skin and takes it out, and then goes back to the guy with the book. And that's when the scarred guy lets go of Eki's hand, and he holds it out again for someone else.
Did he draw blood, or did he
Yeah, he.
put something?
That's what the needle did. It drew blood. Yeah.
Sanju, any
Where did he-
actions that happen can be seen in the like the panel where you went to the settings to mess with the names. On the far left of that panel is a little
Oh,
like message
okay.
box looking thing. All the actions with the rolls and stuff are shown in there.
Where did
okay.
he stick the needle in?
Just on your wrist. Like they were clasping hands, and he was shaking it, and then the guy with the needle came and stabbed him in the wrist, and then came back. It didn't hurt you. You'd lose no HP, but he did take some of your blood.
Okay,
No
so
problem with
he took blood rather than put something in you.
Yeah,
You said that he's stronger than me, but you had me make an athletics check.
athletics is a function of your strength. Whenever you do like a contest of strength, you roll athletics. You don't just roll the strength stat.
And then you also didn't roll to see if he went through my armor, which I'm currently wearing my chainmail.
Now the needle thing, like you can go through chainmail no problem. You know, like it makes some sense.
I'm just making sure covering my bases what's actually happening before I start completely role playing.
All right, man.
Are we wearing our gear at this point?
You do not have your weapons or your possessions, but you do have your armor and such on. Like they just made sure you're kind of toothless right now, except for maybe the spellcasters and Cody.
Mm.
All right, so who's going to be next to interact with this guy? He looks like he's trying to shake somebody else's hand.
Trader walks forward and offers his hand.
Okay.
Y'all like to stay back a little bit. That's not right.
He clasps your hand really hard, but this time the guy with the needle comes up, takes blood, and the scarred man smiles at you and kind of gives a wink and holds out his hand for the next person. Looks like this is going to be a conga line of blood drawing.
First of all, I'm not doing any kind of needles until someone tells me what the hell's going on.
He doesn't say anything and just continues to hold out his hand.
Oops. I did not mean to do that.
That's okay. I'll just pretend you didn't do that.
I don't know what my name is, but I step up and grab the man by his arm and tell him that he is going to tell us what's going on. And I have his needle arm.
You mean the guy with the needle or the guy that's shaking hands?
Yeah, either, both.
Okay,
One on
so
each.
you want to go grab the guy's hand. Do you want to make an athletics check, or do you want to persuade him? What's the deal?
I basically want to get his fucking attention and ask him what he's doing and inform him that he's not going to be stabbing people with needles.
Okay, so if you want to intimidate him or impress him, you want to squeeze his hand super hard, maybe roll an athletics check, and I'll roll one for him too.
So while Cody's doing that, I'm going to slowly start walking around behind the guy.
Well, the guys with
Scar
the
man.
spears are on either side of you. You'll have to walk through a line of spears if you're going to do that. I know it's kind of hard to see, but you see like these little green outlines right here. Those are dudes on either side of you.
So they're just
There's
So
like
are they pointing their
11,
spears at
12
us?
range
Like,
spears.
they're standing there, look ready to do the whole spear thing in your body if you try anything.
I can still walk beside him, can't I?
You can try, I guess. All right, so he puts his hand on your shoulder and he says, "Relax, buddy. We're just here to draw some blood. It's an insurance policy on our part. You've already done your thing. Now let your friends do it. We're not here to really hurt you, but we also want to protect ourselves."
protect yourselves from what?
"We're from you. You people are famous. Now, please, come on over and cooperate. We can get down to actually telling you what the hell's going on around here." "I don't get paid super well, but my time is valuable."
Fine, fine. Just take me next.
All right, so Cody's still grabbing onto his arm. Cody, if you want to persuade him for anything, roll a what is it? Persuasion check. Or an intimidation check if you want to. It's like it's on your
Okay.
character sheet.
And I punch it, and it just says normal roll, advantage, or disadvantage. I just put
Tell it
normal roll.
normal roll.
Yeah, I'm trying to Johnny on the spot, have him tell us what the hell is actually going on here, which you're kind of in the middle of.
Okay. So he takes a little step back. He's impressed by your gumption, especially since you're like about 5 feet tall. And he nods and he looks like he's pretty approving. He says, "Listen, buddy, I don't want to do it any more than you do, but this has got to get done so that we can get on with our lives. Can we go ahead and do that now?"
What are you doing with this blood?
It's going to be part of an insurance policy. You'll see.
Can we see?
It's going in that
Can we
book
see
over
what they've
there.
done with it?
It's going in that book over there, and our two specialists are going to take it and they're going to perform a ritual with it. It's not going to hurt you, but it is going to be part of a detection spell so that we know if you run off.
Sure, why not?
Okay. Is there any other objectors right now?
Can I cast? Who's okay? I can't really tell where the book is and if there's anybody around the book.
What
I
spell would
would
you like to
love
cast?
to Mage Hand to try and like sneak the samples of blood away from him.
Link the Mage Hand spell to me.
Okay, hold on.
Question: can we discuss privately between our characters?
Well, you're
Or
in the middle of a bunch of guys right now. Being overheard is almost a certainty. Like everybody's paying attention to you. There's nothing stealthy to do. Unless you roll like a 20 on your stealth check, you're probably not getting away from here. So, Bree, it looks like you've got to do a verbal and a somatic component to the whole mage hand thing. So you got to be waving your hands and talking about stuff whenever you cast that spell. So like everybody's going to know you're doing it. So if you still want to cast it, that's fine, but they're probably just going to slap your mage hand and then slap you.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anyone else want to turn this into a hell of a fight?
Kind of
kind of.
You know, I kind of do. But that's also not what I'm getting paid for. You're here to see my boss. He's a nice guy. We've got a proposition for you. We got a job for you. But that's not going to get done if we don't have our insurance policy.
job for us. Why did you take my blood without my consent? Insurance policy or not, there's no consent. I ought to destroy you right now and praise my God.
Well, you can go ahead and destroy me. I've survived a lot scarier things than you. And my friends here will, they'll put spears where you don't want spears if you do happen to strike me down. And you won't get all the gold we're offering and the fun you're going to have on this adventure we're going to send you on.
Cut
I'd
the
like to.
bullshit. What's going on?
If I were a talker, I'd be giving you a briefing right now. But my boss is behind me in the camp waiting for us, and he will be able to fill you in on the details.
I'd like to roll for persuasion to see if, I can sweet talk him into saying, hey, we'll take the job, just don't take our blood.
All right, hit me with that persuasion roll. 14. All right, he looks at you. Oh, all right, give him your little your spiel. How are you going to persuade him?
So sexy.
Jesus Christ.
We really, you're cute. And he's short, right? Like he's kind of short.
He's a short, blocky guy, yeah.
I couldn't help but notice all those muscles and, could you? We'll take the job. We really don't want all of this blood everywhere. I mean, I have this crazy magic. Who knows if my blood can even be, taken? And so I was hoping that maybe we could just go talk before you steal all this blood from us. I mean, really, that's a little silly and kind of macabre, actually.
Okay, as you go on, he kind of gets this look in his eye like holy shit, she's making it weird. Like it's like, listen, lady, I'm old and I'm not sure if I could keep up with you, but you know what? This is really uncomfortable. We'll just do the blood thing later. Let's go to the tent. Follow me.
Thank you. I give him a kiss on the cheek and kind of bop over to the tent.
Oh, by the way, my name's Mandor. Follow me and stop doing that.
Okay.
All right, so he turns away, walks into the camp, doesn't look back. The soldiers are still sitting there on the sides of you watching you, but they haven't exactly lowered their spears at
Follow
you yet.
Mandor toward him.
What?
Peter starts following Mandor.
Okay. Anybody want to do anything different?
Nope.
Okay, so you're all going to
Okay, so-
follow him?
Take up a position towards the rear just to watch everyone's back.
All right, place your tokens in the order that you're going to go. What's that, Cody?
Can't move mine.
Active mark in case I have to slap the spears out of a bunch of hands.
So wait, where's the tent? Okay, do I just walk over to the tent?
No, it's fine. Just put yourselves in an order you're going to be walking. It's fine.
I'll go first. I did the persuading.
Okay, remember, anytime you want to interrupt me and make some kind of roll or look for something or do something, just let me know, all right?
Where do the rolls even happen from?
All right, you go to your character sheet, and if I ask you to roll on something, you just click on that thing's name. Like, let's say you're trying to do what Bree did and persuade someone. You would click on your persuasion, and it would roll a d20 for you and add your bonus to it.
As we're walking behind the Mandor, Treader would like to scan the camp to see if he can find any available assets to use, like weapons or such.
Okay, roll a perception check.
Normal?
Not, yeah, just normal roll. If you had advantage, I will definitely tell you.
As we are walking, Madame Claptrap saunters over to what's Breon's character's name?
Lark.
Lark, and whispers in her ear that she should try to ask her new little friend who is her boss. Who the boss guy is. Since she already has the persuasion roll thingy going on.
So sexy. Could you tell me what the name of your boss? What's your boss's name? I mean, I would love to address him by name.
All right, roll persuasion yet again, please.
While Lark has his attention, I'm going to survey for exits and escape route.
All right, you rolled a 16. That's even better than last time. He kind of turns around and stops for a second, and he said, "Listen, I'm like I said, I'm a little bit older, and you're not my type. I probably have a daughter out there somewhere that's your age, and listen, I can't give you my employer's his information. He's right inside the tent over here. Just come in, and he'll talk to you about it. He'll introduce himself. All right."
So what should I call him? Just Mr. Boss or what?
You can call him whatever the hell you want until he introduces himself otherwise. But he is a noble, and I expect you to have good manners when you go in here.
So Sir Boss. Got it.
Sir is for knights. You can address him as my lord, or if he tells you otherwise, something else.
Lord Boss.
Listen,
Okay.
he's a good man. He's a very good man, and I would give my life for him. Just treat him with respect, listen to what he has to say, and stop doing that hip shaking thing you're doing.
Okie dokie.
Have we reached the tent?
Okay, so have you made your perception? Oh, you did make your perception check. Okay, cool. So,
No, I haven't made one.
all right, so go ahead and roll perception. Perception of 10. Okay, so you look around and you see like all the tents are in neat, orderly rows, right? And all the fires and stuff are dug into the ground. You don't see a lot of weapons lying around that aren't being held by somebody at the moment. But then again, you're in the middle of the tent, and all the tents are set up to kind of obscure each other and not create a large line of sight.
Did he have any like weapons or anything useful on him that I could
What,
cuddle up to him and steal?
Mandor?
Yeah.
He's got that one well-worn sword, but it's in his sheath, and he's got his hand on it right now. If you want to
Okay.
try to steal it, that's fine, but I don't think he'd take it too well.
Yeah, I don't have a very good sleight of hand anyway.
Is his compatriots following us with the spears, or is it just him?
You've got a couple still watching you from the back. You're in the middle of their camp right now. If you do something, they're probably going to see you, but if you want to try something, that's fine.
We're in the middle of the tent, you
All right.
said?
Yeah. You come upon what you assume is the command tent, what with it being 5 times as large as the others. Lantern light spills out of the door, but you're unable to make out what is inside. In fact, the harder you look, the brighter the light becomes and the less detail you see. Your head begins to hurt until you focus elsewhere. The 2 cards posted here look alert but uninterested in your presence. Meanwhile, the scarred man, Mandor as he introduced himself, stands to one side of the tent flaps and gestures for you to enter.
Cody, you gonna move your piece up with us?
It's okay. If you go in the tent, we'll be moving on to another map anyway. So it's the positioning only really matters if you're doing battle anyway.
Oh, okay.
So, Sexy, before I go in here, is there anything I need to know?
No, just go inside.
The real question is, do you have any beer?
I'd like to last the spell if possible.
Okay, which spell? Link it to me.
I'd like to. How do I link it to you?
You click on the spell in your character sheet, and it should just put it in the chat.
Actually, I can't. Never mind. That's not one of my prepared spells. Never mind. Just remember that.
I want to
She
ask
blows
the
Mandor a kiss before she goes in.
Okay. Let's see. How am I going to handle this? Roll.
Where's our cantrips at?
It's under your spell list. If you look at your character sheet, you'll see there's. Let's see. Hold on. I'm bringing it up right now.
Oh, okay. Core bio and spells. Okay.
Yeah, under spells, you've got yours right there.
Have any of the guards been speaking any languages that we don't understand?
The guards haven't spoken at all. It's just been Mandor.
Okay.
Bree, you still want to try to plant a kiss on his cheek?
Blew him a kiss.
Oh, you
Nothing
blow
you
him a
can do about
kiss.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have to make an acrobatics save for him then. All right. So
Trevor steps or Bree does.
What?
Saying Treader steps in the tent before Bree does.
Okay.
Okay.
As I approach the tent, I speak in giant that he better watch his back to Mandor.
Okay. And
Be nice.
he also speaks in fluid giant. He says, "I always watch my back. Now get the fuck inside."
Gentlemen, let's go.
I guess
Lady.
I guess I'm the next one to saunter in to the tent there. And I give Mr. whatever the fuck his name is a wink as I pass by.
Okay. So just because this is session 0, we're gonna talk about this for a second, guys. All right. So what I just gave to you in like the scene description and stuff, right? I've got the tent. It's super weird. It's got some kind of perception filter on it or something like that. I'm giving you some hooks here, and if you pay attention to some of the descriptions I give, you might be able to get some plot hooks and start kind of unraveling things as you go. All right, we'll come back to it later, but like if you hear something weird, if I use nouns and if I spend some time describing something, it's probably something you can investigate or interact with or whatever.
Like
You
the
said,
light.
yeah, the lantern.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll go inside the tent and we'll do other stuff too. All right. Let me just take your